Well, hello. It's great to see all of you. We got 40 or 50 people that I think are going to join us here. So, as we see names pop up, be sure to send them a little chat privately or, for us all to hear what you want to say. And obviously, the whole reason for this is just to anticipate what's going to happen on Monday, and also just to check in with you guys. So I'll monologue for a little bit. I'll share my screen for some stuff that, if you're like me, I gotta visually see something sometimes to understand it. I've written down some questions that I bet that you have, but then I'll stick around just as long as we need to if there's other things we need to chat about. So I'll say this: we've thought long and hard just about this whole process and things that have been put in place. And if I could be completely honest with you, there's some stuff that we're doing that I wanted to do anyways before this even started. The ability to take care of you individually through True Coach has been a real blessing for us. And what I mean by that is, the longer that I do this stuff, it's changed by what I feel like the definition of coaching is. In 2008, when we first opened the gym, I thought my job was to jack people up when they came in. I thought that was my sole mission in life, which meant that I took on more or less the mentality of a drill sergeant, or because nobody knew what functional fitness was and no one had trained in a group before. Think about that. I felt like it was my mission to be this expert, and I knew everything. And the people that came in, if I was really going to communicate to them how potent this stuff is, then I had to dose them. And so if you fast forward to today, I have a much different perspective of what coaching is. And the fact that you guys know so much, it's really about providing accountability. It's really about meeting you exactly where you're at. And in this period of time where we've been in shelter in place, having technology in order to do that proves to me that it's more important that we start with that as the foundation and then just expand to more and more amenities. But to say that in order for you to get healthy, it has to happen in a group, and without that, you can't, it's just not true. Now, I think we believe that because we've done it for so long, but to be fit just means that you're coming up with a strategy that allows you to be consistent. And probably whatever you do, whether it's CrossFit or walking or, Zumba, as long as you're consistent with it, that's great. And I know that sounds weird coming from somebody that's run a group fitness program for, almost 15 years, but it honestly is just a good opportunity to step back and just think about that. So I start with that because we will open on Monday, and we'll follow all of the protocols that we're supposed to as far as being compliant with, the state and federal mandate. But our goal is to focus on improving your health. And so I'll unpack that, and then we'll get into the specifics. When I say health, I'm not actually referring to the sanitation protocols. And like I said, we will follow those to a T, but you can't avoid germs. The answer to winning this million-year battle with microbes that the human race has been facing forever is not to avoid them completely. You actually can't avoid germs completely. The answer is your immune system. The answer is to be like as healthy as possible. So in my mind, and I'm not trying to be political or, bias you, but you need to understand where I'm coming from if we are going to open the gym, that I believe this is a health problem. And you can look at the research and the data that says that comorbidities make COVID worse. And all a comorbidity is that you have pre-existing conditions that would make it possible for you to die sooner than the typical human. They say that if you have metabolic disease, you're 10 times more likely to have a bad experience with COVID. And so when you take that into consideration, to me, that's really what our focus should be, is just trying to make ourselves as healthy as possible. Now, the Mayo Clinic says there's 5 things that you can do to prevent metabolic syndrome, and it's going to be a real shocker. They say that you need to exercise, you need to eat healthy, don't eat shit, don't smoke, and get some rest. I mean, it's about the straightforward thing you could say, but I think we've all agreed that while being in shelter in place, like, some of those things have been hard. And so having a coach isn't about playing good music or entertaining you, but it's really just allowing, like, that that mechanism to be in place. So yeah, the best thing you can do for your health is, sure, like, washing your hands makes a lot of sense, and don't, open your mouth when someone's coughing or sneezing. Like, that stuff just makes a lot of sense. But more importantly, and this is a real shocker, the best thing we can do to prevent you from getting sick is to exercise regularly, eat healthy, sleep, manage stress, and all of the things that you know already. So where do we come in? We're here to coach you. I've been, once again, floored by the fact that we can do all of that without seeing you. But I think we'd all agree that at some point, seeing people would actually allow me to be more consistent with being healthy. Now, for some of us, we're fine. And if that's you, please know that we'll continue to modify things and take care of you and individually prescribe what you need. And we'll do that without blinking an eye. So don't feel pressure to come in, but there's several that have said that they can't stay healthy without the regime of training in person. Some people have said that. And so if that's you, it probably does make sense that you would come in and add that to your schedule if it would allow you to stay healthier. And I'm not talking from a germ standpoint, but several of you reported, it's like, hey, when I show up to this place and I have people here and I have a coach watching my form, that allows the rest of my day to be more healthy. If that's you, please show up. I think most of us fall into that category. If you really do some self-reflection, you say, you know what, I think I can do exactly what Spencer is describing without having to show up to the gym, and keep doing that. I think this has just allowed me to figure out, like, where, if this is a pyramid, like, where do things, like, stack up? And being in a group isn't like the base level, or at least it shouldn't be. But I'm not judging you. So if it is for you and you say, you know what, I really need that, I really think that will make me adhere to other protocols that would boost my immune system and keep me healthy, then by all means, like, let's get together and train. So I'm going to try to share my screen here. That's cute, huh? You like that? Huh? It means we're a Center for Disease Control. You see what I did there? I just made that up like a couple minutes before we started. But you can just put in your mind, it's like, hey, this place that I'm going to, it's just to help me control the disease. And the way that I control the disease is just to make sure that I'm doing all the things that the Mayo Clinic and the CDC tell me actually provide my best hedge against getting sick. Now, when you when you come in, you should have already booked a class. You can do that on Pipe 13. So there's an app on your phone. Not many of us ever had a need to use that because we never really cared how many people were in the gym. But when we do the math, we typically handle about 120 people a day, and we're going to have half that and also space it out. So our goal is to have about 60 people in the gym per day. And so all you have to do Saturday at noon, you can get on the little app and reserve a class. They're going to sell like hotcakes. I'm pretty sure that we'll have all those spots reserved, but you got to make sure you do that beforehand. The second thing is to make sure that you tell your coach. So this is something that in the history of exercise is completely brand new, that you'll have a coach through an online application that will program workouts for you in a gym and then at home, and then in the gym, we will do it all together. Now, most of the time when this is happening, whether it's back and forth, you would have your own individual program and you would never train with anybody, which is virtually what you're doing right now. The feedback we have is that we want to actually see people, we want to train together, we want to not just have myself in the garage, but have somebody else that we're doing this with. And so may it please the court, we have to have a little bit of coordination there. So if classes are available to register Saturday at noon, before Sunday, it would be really great if you could just let your coach know, just a message on True Coach, be like, hey, I signed up for Monday and Wednesday. I'd love to train at home Tuesday and Thursday, or whatever. What we'll do is we'll have your own custom schedule, and we'll make sure that the customization that we give you for the workouts in the gym makes sense for that equipment and gear. And then if you're at home, then the customization will make sense for what you have at home. So if you don't sign up, then all the workouts will be remote. If you do sign up, just let us know the days that you do that. When we sign up and we let the coach know, the bay door will be closed. So hypothetically, it's Monday, it's 6 a.m., the door's locked, the bay door's closed. A really handsome and intelligent guy is going to open the door at 6 a.m. And because I already know who's in the class because he's registered, I'm going to have your shit laid out for you. That means that when you show up, I'm going to say, hey, Dave, you're at station 1. Leah, you're at station 2. Mitch, you're at 3. Dan, you're at 4. Josh, you're at 5. You'll usher in to your spot. At your spot, the gear is set out. There is each station individual cleaning material, but everything will be clean. I say that because if you want to clean it again, you're welcome to. If you say, you know what, I'd really like to see with my own eyes that this barbell has, disinfectant on it, then you're welcome to do that. There'll be paper towels. You can disinfect the water bottle. You can get as Howard Hughes as you want. In addition to that, as soon as class is over, we're going to usher you back out. And that's the part that we'll try to be as gracious, but also assertive at the same time, because we want to have enough of a window where we can clean everything and give the next class the same experience that you did. So even though we have an hour block, the class will be about 45 minutes. And that will leave about 15 minutes for us to do all the cleaning and basically set everything back up like it was for the next group. That just means that when class is over, we'll say like, hey, thank you guys for coming. Make your way outside the bay door. We'll probably obnoxiously close it, and then we'll just do the same thing for the other 2 hours. So there's individual levels of comfort, and that includes what you need for the workout and also what you need to feel safe. So you'll have the workout given to you through True Coach. You'll see it ahead of time. You don't have to memorize the workout. We'll still have it on the whiteboard. I'll still yap at you the whole hour. I'll still explain things. But for certain portions of the workout, your coach will have given you recommendations on what it is that they think you should do. And here are a couple of examples. On Monday, the workout involves back squat. It also involves a triplet. That just means it's a conditioning session that has 3 movements. One is monostructural. The monostructural movement could be rowing, it could be echo bike, it could be ski erg. If you've been used to going to a peak class, that triplet is going to be customized for you to get a very similar type peak workout. If you really love the classic CrossFit AMRAP style, then that workout will be set up where you can really try to push the limits of what it is that you want to accomplish. So in other words, even though it's the same elements and even the same time frame, if somebody walked in, it would look like people were doing different versions of the workout. And the fact is that they are. So not to bore you with details, but before I was a CrossFit coach, I worked at a collegiate level in like a strength and conditioning format where this looked very similar, where there were certain portions that were all the same. And then there were certain portions where, although people were doing it together, they had different percentages. They had slightly different modifications to the movement. And so we're more or less experimenting with that model here. And we'll see how it goes. But if you can just be prepared there, it'll go really smooth. You don't have to have anything memorized again. If you want to wear a mask, I've thought through this quite a bit. We used to train with these masks that covered up our mouths, and they were designed to make it really hard to breathe. And I'm pretty sure that will do the same thing regardless of the mask that you have. So we'll be spaced out enough, and masks, as I'm sure you've read as well, are a great consideration for other people. It doesn't actually prevent you from transmitting germs. It's just a way to prevent the egress of germs out. So that'll be totally on you. Same thing with gloves, the same thing with wearing boxes of tissue on your feet or peeing into jars, like all that. I'm making a little, Howard Hughes joke, but it's really just, it's totally what you want to do. That includes like anything that you have that you need. So bring your own water bottle, fill your own water bottle up before you come, go pee-pee before you come into the gym, bring a towel, bring your phone. If you're used to, some of the members bring like, a hockey-sized bag with every single thing that you possibly could have for a workout. We probably just need to minimize that so we can keep our little battle station pretty tight and pretty close. And then lastly, I've said this 3 or 4 times already, but if you're on the fence or if you're just not sure if you're ready to come back in, if you didn't appreciate my monologue about microbes, then and you're totally cool to stay at home. And that's not like you're being pigeonholed to hop on a Zoom class where we're doing burpees for 10 minutes. Like we'll still give you great workouts and we'll take care of you as best as we can. Okay, so questions that you might have. Do I have to register for class beforehand? Yes. So right now we won't be taking drop-ins, right? So if somebody just shows up and they've been in Nepal for the last 2 months, they're like, hey, I'm here to work out. Even if there's space in that class, we're not going to accept them right now because there's been a whole lot of information that we've unpacked for how we're going to do this. And right now it's only going to be for like our members. What if I haven't been on TrueCoach? So there may be a few of you that haven't been participating like the majority of us have, and so this is a new system to you. We've created a little protocol online that we'll expose you to that will just help you understand how to use it if you are unfamiliar with it. And we'll get you on there just like we have everyone else. So if you're signing up for class and you haven't been on TrueCoach, it will be really awkward for you on Monday, but we'll handle it with grace, and we'll get you through the workout, and we'll need you to get with your coach and get back on there as soon as possible. What if I haven't, or why can't I work out 5 days a week at the gym? You know, our hands are just kind of tied with how many people we can get in. And our goal is to have like a pretty limited number of classes, and then just as the state allows and as there's honestly need, like if we have these classes for next week and they don't fill up, then we obviously won't add any classes. So it's almost like we're starting Cfdc over again. And in the early days, we had a 6 a.m. and a 6 p.m. and we only added another class when those filled up. So if those fill up and we're allowed to with the state, then we'll continue to open them up. I'll tell you this though, I don't know at what point in time they'll let us have 20 people in a class. We're a little unsure with how that'll go, but I think signing up and reserving your spot is probably something that we won't do away with. Now, what would be great is if we had 20 spots that you could sign up for, and we could spread this out, and we could basically just handle the amount of traffic that we wanted. But that's yet to be determined. So what about SugarWOD? How am I going to fist bump somebody? SugarWOD is so great, but with the customization that has to happen at this point in order for it to be 45 minutes instead of an hour, because we can't go to the whiteboard and congregate like we normally do because of social distancing practices, we feel like it's absolutely paramount to use TrueCoach. What SugarWOD is, think about this for a sec. It does 3 things. It records your score. It tells you what the workout is. And it allows you to interact with people virtually. TrueCoach records your score. It tells you the workout. And if you're training in person, you'll interact just like a normal human being. Guess what? We've only used TrueCoach for 4 years. And before TrueCoach, do you know how we interact with people? We just physically asked them how they did on the workout. And we wrote it on the whiteboard. And we were like, hey, what'd you get on that workout? And then I text somebody afterwards. And then I know that I was going to work out with that person at the same hour because I like to work out with that person. And SugarWOD's become this very efficient method that we'll use. And I'm not saying that we won't bring that back, but at this point in time, we will use the physical presence of human beings in the gym to interact with them. So if somebody does something that's great, then you probably just need to like tell them that they did a great job. And we'll just be like normal human beings as far as that goes. Now, we'll do all the right things as far as sanitation goes, and we'll figure out a way that if you're a really competitive person and you want to know what somebody else does, you can figure out like, hey, what are some comparable scores? Because I know that's one of the limitations of TrueCoach is that we can't see how somebody else did on the workout. But if you'll just have patience with us for these first couple of weeks, we'll primarily rely on TrueCoach simply so we don't have to use 24 different applications to take care of you. Are you still going to coach us? Yes. One of my favorite lines from Tombstone is, you called down the thunder, well, now you're going to get it. And so, you know, if I don't have to bring you to the whiteboard and you already more or less know what you're doing, do you know what I get to do with the rest of that time? I get to coach the shit out of you. So if you've been missing that, get ready. Are you really not going to let us use the bathrooms? No, that would be weird. You know, we're not going to say, yeah, you got to pee in your pants. But, you know, it'll be really hard to regulate the cleanliness of the bathrooms the same way that we would a barbell where your hands go in one place. And the reason for that is I'm not going to watch you go pee-pee. So I don't know what you've touched. And so if if at all possible, if you can go pee before you come into the gym, that'd be great. If it's an emergency, for goodness sakes, go use the bathroom. We'll have stuff in there that you can basically wipe down whatever you touched. So if we can avoid it, great. But I'm not going to be some, OCD control freak if you have to do that. What about Washington? So this is more information you wanted to know, but the governor and at the city level, they said that construction was an essential job, except for a non-essential remodel, which is what we fell in line with. Now, under the radar for a few weeks, we were still doing construction, but we couldn't get a permit through the city for some of the plumbing. And here's the best part. Somebody called and tattletaled that we were doing that. And so we had to stop work for about a week and a half. All that to say is that things are back in. They've poured the concrete over the plumbing. They tell me about 4 weeks from now, as it gets closer and it's less like dirty conditions, I was thinking that I'd set up some times where if you wanted to stop by and check the place out, I'd just host like office hours there and give you like a little tour and walk through. But it sounds like that as we're going through this slow process of opening back up, it might line up exactly right with being able to go to Washington. So, what's going to happen in June or beyond? It's hard to say, right? But using the logical part of my brain, if they continue in Texas like they have in some other places, there's no reason that we couldn't be at Washington, probably with the same social distancing requirements, probably where we still have to sign up for classes, and we'll make sure there's adequate space, but we'll be in a really, really clean new facility. So as soon as I know more, as it gets closer, we'll just continue as usual. It'll just be about a month behind. Okay, that's all I got. What questions do you guys have? I see a lot of chats here and I've just seen them come in, but I haven't really looked at them.
Coach Spencer.
Yes.
It's Mitch.
Hi, Mitch.
Hey there. Hey, first of all, I want to say the communication that you've been doing around all of this is nothing short of amazing. I love it. So really appreciate that. Second thing, my question is, if the classes are blocked out because they're full, is there any possibility of a wait list in case somebody's sick and they can't show up or whatever?
Yes, there is a wait list function on Pike. So if the class that you want to be a part of is full, you can put your name on there. And if somebody backs out, or say Jack has up at that time and he backs out, then you'll automatically be added to the class. So I know that there is a wait list.
Okay. That's all I got. It's awesome.
Okay. Thanks for the question. Oh, we also talked about like if somebody signs up and then they just like no show. Please don't do that. If it gets like really out of hand, I'll just show up at your house and tell you not to. But I'm pretty sure we'll all be respectful there. Yeah. So if you sign up and you can't do it, just make sure you go back and take yourself off. What else? Oh, Murph. You guys asked about Murph. There's no way that we could pull that off in person. There's no way. I mean, if you've ever been a part of the Murphs that we've done in the past, it's probably the most sweat-filled, germ-laden thing that happens in the city of Dallas for that month. But we have thought that we'll continue to program it for next Monday, not the 18th, but the 25th. And what I thought would be cool is if we all like started it at the same time, and we have some cool versions that if you don't have a pull-up bar, how we do it. We thought about some ways that we might incorporate our furried children or our real children into the workout. So the plan is to still do it on Monday the 25th, and we've even talked like, man, maybe it would be a chance to actually get on Zoom and do it together, since you can do the majority of that stuff, except for it'd be weird when you went and ran, right? It'd just be an empty screen, but at least for, the air squats and the push-ups and whatever we come up with for the pull-ups, we would try to do that all together. What else? Also, as far as signing up on Pike, how far out in advance are you letting people sign up? We're going to have it set. Our plan is for Saturday at noon. You get on there and you release it, or you schedule a class. So that's what we have right now. I have Sugar One and I have True Coach. What the fuck is Pike? Pike is actually the software that we check you in for classes. So it's also the way that we basically manage your membership. So if you need those individual links, like to get the app, it's pretty easy. You can go on the App Store and find like the Pike 13 app. It's pretty intuitive, and although I can't help you with your username and password, it's probably your email and whatever your password typically is. What else? Alex, Aaron, Rich, Clinton, Josh,
Hey,
Jen.
I have a question.
Yes, Clinton.
What are your plans if somebody, either a member or coach, tests positive for COVID?
Yeah, our plan is if they test positive, we need to know just as soon as possible. So if a coach or an athlete tests for that, then we'll probably have to make modifications for who was exposed at the last time that they came in. But I would just say, Clinton, that if that happens, the normal thing will need to happen, which just means that person stays in self-quarantine, and we'll continue to train them like they have been previously. And if there's anybody that was in the class, we'll let them know, and we'll just pivot as we need to based on that.
Okay, thanks.
It seems self-explanatory, but if you're sick, if you look sick, if you're having allergies and you're sneezing, and I see that, there's 100% chance that with grace and ultimate respect for you, I'll just ask you to go home. So we met as a staff yesterday, and our goal is to not talk about COVID and to get you in, get you out, be positive, be leaders, have fun. But the one thing that we'll probably be, kind of assholes about is that if you look sick and you're like, no, I swear I'm good, man, I'm good. We'll be like, hey, I don't think today's the day. So if we could just all be on the same page there, that would be great. Tiago's question is, should we bring our dumbbells back? I mean, your dumbbells, LOL. We talked about this, and if we're going to do this combination of having you train at home and then train at the gym, we're going to really try to rely on the gear that's at the gym still that you don't have access to at home. So it's this really beautifully complementary workout. So we made a conscious decision that we wanted you guys to keep the equipment just so you can continue to have workouts that are mixed modal, and they're more than just your body weight, since the majority of us don't have equipment outside of there. So there will be a point where we say like, hey, can I have that box back? But right now we're going to stick with what we got.
Spencer.
Yes.
It's Pete. Can you hear me okay? I'm in a car.
Pete, I was thinking about you, and I thought one of the saddest things that I've heard or that I've thought about since the shelter in place is that you may not be able to go see Rage Against the Machine. Is that true?
And the Black Keys, both concerts canceled on me. It hurts, man. I know. But I'm moving past that, right? I'm looking forward. Hey, talking about the workout designs, and when will they be released? Because if I could do them at home, I'd probably choose to do them at home because I have a decent setup. But if it's something that's, like you said, hey, we're going to do heavy-ish back squats, when will I know so that I can make the decision whether I want to sign up or not sign up? Because ideally, I think I'd probably lower my risk of doing it at home if I can. But if it's something that offers me an opportunity to do more than I can do at home, I'll probably sign up.
Yeah, good question. Maybe this will help. The gear that we have at the gym are barbells, cardio equipment, and then the rings and the pull-up bar. So I can tell you that the majority of workouts that we design will be body weight or gymnastics. It'll be movement patterns that we haven't typically done at home. So greater volume of pulling type movements, and then all the things that you can do with a barbell. As far as releasing workouts, we'll continue to do it just like we've done, where you get the workout the day before with those specific instructions. And so if it helps, Pete, knowing that that's the equipment that we have, if you know that you have all the equipment and you'd rather do the workouts at home, then on Sunday or even now, just tell Lens like, hey, I'm good. Like I'll stay at home. I got the workouts here. I'll give that spot to somebody else that could really use it because they don't have the equipment. And that would be awesome. Like Monday's workout specifically is an EMOM with a pulling progression and ramped intensity on the machine that you're on, along with like variations of squatting form. And then the second portion is a back squat with wave loading. And the third part is, like I said previously, a little triplet that has different times and intensity levels, and that'll be customized for the person. So having said all that, if you decide like, yeah, I got that gear and I'm good, then we're good as well. Once again, though, if you feel like you would get a better workout with face-to-face coaching from us, or if there's some other, biopsychosocial aspect of training that you really need that you know you can't accomplish at home, then we're here for you.
Hey, Spencer, is there any sort of timeline for like expanding to a Friday, Saturday option so we can do 3 days a week, or is that going to just be based on demand? Or just wondering what that.
Great question. As soon as we possibly can, and I initially believe that's based on if we fill up all these classes and there's a demand for more, then we'll immediately do it as long as we can keep the 25% occupancy, or unless that changes. Just internally, it's pretty time consuming, and we like it, but it's pretty time consuming to give this customization and individual attention. We don't want to do away with that. We think that's really special. We think it's really novel. We think there's not anybody else that's doing it the way that we're doing it, but we're essentially adding that and these classes. And so we want to make sure that there's great demand, not just so we're showing up and, it's one person. So as soon as we can is the answer.
Spencer, can we pay extra money and get a workstation in front of that big ass fan? That's where I want my workstation.
It'd have to include a bunch of paperweights, so nothing would blow away. What else? Is everybody feeling good? Keep going.
Yeah. Do you know when True Coach is going to have an Android app?
I hear it's in the works. There's not a great workaround for that, Clinton, and there's been 2 or 3 when we sent the survey out. The only negative responses for True Coach is like, hey, it sucks on Android. I've heard that you can bookmark a web page and have that as a shortcut on the desktop, and that helps you, see it in a little easier format. But I'm hoping they get some of the bugs worked out as soon as possible, and that includes like an Android app. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Do you know when?
Hi, Aaron.
Hi, I'm here. I'm at work, so I've been trying to multitask and listen. Do you know when you guys are going to open it up to like one-on-one training?
Yes. Meaning like individual time with a coach.
Yes.
Our plan clandestinely is to typically be available for that in the next couple of weeks. So I would say let's get through this first week, and then it's really just based on your comfort level and what we can keep sanitized. So, you know, one of the ideas that we rolled around is like, God, could we have a block of open gym where now that people have their workout on True Coach and they know what they're doing, could we just give them access to the gym and handle that? And while I don't think that's off the table, I think we're probably a week or two out from just having like the capability of doing that. So I'd say real soon, and we're excited to get back into that aspect as well.
Okay, awesome.
So what do you guys want to talk about? Everybody good? You know, along those lines, we've had a pretty big, and I think it's only going to get more and more, that there's some people, not anybody on this call right now, but there's some people that made a decision when the pandemic started and they said, you know what, I think I'll just take a little time off of exercise because they thought it would be a couple of weeks. And now that it's been 2 months, we're having lots and lots of people reach out to us. And so that's an interesting conundrum, right? Because we want to help people, we want to help new people, but we're going to have to do it in a way that makes sense, that it doesn't do what you just said, right, Aaron, where it's like dominating time face-to-face or taking away from you guys. So I think we have a pretty good strategy, and I believe that it will happen primarily on True Coach. But I'll say this, if you guys know of someone, and several of you have mentioned that to us, if you know somebody at another gym or somebody that hasn't been taking care of themselves and they've mentioned like, hey, I really need to get back in shape, let us know and let us help them, because I think we have a pretty good strategy. Yeah, where will the workouts that are happening in the gym be posted in the event that we decide to do them from home, like Pete mentioned? Yeah, so once again, Hillary, if you decide to stay home, you'll get these workouts, and we know already what equipment you have. So on Sunday, if you say, hey, this week I'm still at home, we got you. There's nothing else you need to do. And if you have access to a barbell, or say you have a rower in the garage, you'll get the same workout with probably a few tweaks and customizations that those would that are going to be in the gym. So no big deal at all. All right, is there anything else? I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you guys for being here. Remember, reserve a class on Saturday. Let your coach know on Sunday. Let's have a great time next week. We can't wait to train you guys. We're really stoked to show you, like, so many things will be the same, but just this really efficient way to train you, I think you're really gonna love. The new move for giving a dap at each other is the elbow bump, or just the really long blink. That means I love you when I have a mask on. All right, we sign up tomorrow in Pike at noon. Chris, AKA Spencer, that is correct. Tomorrow, noon. It's gonna be like getting a Celine Dion ticket in Vegas, right when she announces that comeback tour. You gotta be on there. You gotta be ready to click the button. So download the app today. You download the app right now, you may actually see a class on there. Who knows? So that's just a little reward for you being on here right now and taking the time. So I think Ward's doing it as we speak. Good job, Ward. And for the for the rest of us, hey, that's it. Are there any last call, any final questions, anything I can do to make you feel extra comfortable or take care of you in any way? All right, far out. Guys, we'll see you Monday if you're training in the gym. If not, we'll have a great workout, and we'll see you soon. Be well. Take care of yourself. Reach out to your coach. Reach out to me if you need anything at all. And we'll see you guys.
Thanks, Spencer.
Bye.
Be the last one.
Yeah, who's it gonna be? Oh.
Get out of here, Chris.
Chris?
He just kept us up. He hasn't actually been listening.
He's actually not on.
Not even
He's
here.
been on the whole time. He asked that question early in the meeting and then did something. Oh, all right. I see you, Natalie, in the background. I see you, girl. All right, bye, guys.
Goodbye.